I don't know what that idea is. See the bank comes up.
You want to pull this out here?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is the thing, impact off centre. Are those two front sides equal? Because we've got on one side, now we've got on the other, and I'm as far out as you. One is 24.
Doing that, we use that like cleaning underneath.
How long for? Yeah, lovely. I don't know, I know.
This is a 1952 Morris Minor. It's an early model. In fact, it belongs to Barry Norman. It's probably one of the best cars in the club, and for the last 3 years running it has achieved Grand Masters, which is the highest category within the Morris Minor Club of judging. As you can see, Barry's got with it the original toolkit down here, which is very nicely displayed. This car also is a very early model. In fact, it's an 803 engine. It belongs to Richard Lee. Again, one of the top competing cars. As you can see, it's a 4-door Series 2 saloon. This is a very nice pickup truck, as you can see, in green, 1972. It's a 1098cc. It belongs to a gentleman called Thomas Allen from Scotland. This is the first time that we've seen this vehicle at any indoor show this year, and it's the second time that the vehicle has actually been shown in the judging. Very, very impressive vehicle. Okay, this vehicle is owned by Peter Large. Peter lives in Leicester. Done an extremely good job of restoring this vehicle basically from the graveyard. I'm sure it would have been scrapped out if it wasn't for Peter. It's a 1955 an 803 engine, a 4-door in sandy beige, and the car has done extremely well. over the last 2 years it's come from concours and achieved a very high standard within Masterclass, and I've got a lot of admire Peter quite a lot for the time he's spent restoring this car to its original condition, bearing in mind that basically he brought it back from the graveyard. Well, this is my own vehicle. It's a 1949 side valve Morris Minor. It was in the first 27,000 built, in fact, in the first year. As you can see, it's in Maroon A. It's a 918cc. This particular vehicle I bought in July of 89, particularly more or less scrapped, and it was totally rebuilt. I've contacted all its previous owners, and the vehicle has actually covered 500,000 miles. It's been very, very successful within the Morris Minor Club, achieving Grand Masters and also winning the Autoglen final and shows at Benson and Hedges. It's now retired. Now I'm involved in doing the judging, but got a very soft spot for these older type cars. This particular line of vehicles, in fact, is the concours scene of the Morris Minor Club. Obviously at some stage these vehicles may achieve Masters status. You can see we've got a white convertible car here, which has done very, very well indeed. The black car here, which is its first year in concours, and has done extremely well. This is also a 1949 Morris Minor, split windscreen, side valve engine, owned by Ted Wallow. Very, very nice car. Ted goes to a lot of shows around the country and likes to talk to anybody who's enthusiastic about cars. 784 EON is a very early Morris Minor. It's owned by a Mr. Chapman. It's a very, very original car, low mileage. Probably one of the most original cars that we have that obviously it's had restoration done, but all the original parts are there. What's nice about that vehicle is it has actually still got the original tyres on. This is a convertible. It's owned by Mike Amerson. It's 1966 and the colour is Trafalgar Blue. Again, a 1098cc engine, a very, very nice car. Michael's well known in the concours scene. This is an interesting vehicle. It's 1098, 1969, Maroon B, and it's owned by Chris Strawbridge. It's his first year of serious competition in the concours scene, and Chris has done very, very well with that car indeed.
With a bit on to go in the lead.
First of all, I'd just like to introduce the committee, just in case you don't know them. So, on my far left we have Brian Gosling, who is the advertising manager for Minor Matters. Next to Brian we have Chris Howard, who is the branch liaison officer, events officer. Next to Chris we have Caroline Beck. I got it right. Junior Matters editor. Yes. Next to me, our illustrious Secretary Ray Newell. I'm John Fry, Chairman. On my right, we have Andy Booth, the editor of Minor Matters. On his right, we have Martin Flanders, who's the treasurer. And finally, on the far right, Ian Phillips-Ben, who does everything. Just a few general remarks. I usually make mention of the MOT, the Miners on Tour, and of Bandon, which are our two international efforts every year. The MOT went to Carantec in France, northern Brittany, was it, Ian? 100 cars. The Bandon Rally went to Bandon in the southern part of Ireland for 15 cars. There were actually several things in common this year between the two rallies. First of all, it hammered down at the start of each rally, so that the water was running through the tents, not round the tents, but through the tents in Brittany. So did it in Ireland. Myself, my wife and my daughter and son had to get out for 2 nights and go and park in the middle of Bandon somewhere. But after that, the sun did come out. Well, the sun didn't actually come out in Bandon, but it didn't rain so much the next fortnight. And I gather you had a bit more luck than we did. The next piece in common was the amount of money raised for charity. MOT usually raises a staggering amount for charity, which it did again this year. Bandon has traditionally espoused the guide dogs for the blind, under the auspices of David and Jane Brown. Another similarity was that the Hazlitts, I believe, took their 8-month-old daughter Amelia with them, and we took our 8-month-old son Sam with us, who smiled his way around Ireland. And I suppose there were 2 similarities there, because Amelia was precocious. She was sliding down into the water at the age of 8 months, and Sam was drinking Guinness at the age of 8 months. Just a word about committee restructuring. You may have seen from the branch bulletin here that we are in the process of restructuring the committee. This is part of a much larger overall project, which is to increase the number of full and part-time officers serving for the club. That was the mandate given to us 2 and 3 years ago by the AGM, to the effect that we would look towards a time when the club had 1 or more full-time serving officers to look towards its daily routine and indeed towards formulating policy for the club as to where we go from now. And towards that, we had done 2 things. First of all, as you see, we restructured the committee. So, for example, we have a magazine committee, we have a central running committee, a much smaller cut-down main committee. We have subcommittees in the process of being formed for club services like finance, events, and, for example, a specific sub-branch of the latter, which is going to look forward to 1998, the mighty anniversary of the Morris Minor. 4 years away, but still needs 4 years planning. I personally look forward to the time when we do have a full-time secretary with a small s, close his ears, to look forward to look after the daily running of the club and to take some of the work off race soldiers at the moment. And the other thing we've done, as you can also see from the branch report, is to employ a technical officer, probably downstairs at the moment, looking after technical things. This is Rob Thomason. Rob was selected from a very strong field, initially of 10 candidates, and then of 6, who went through a long process of interviews in Derby all day. And Rob was selected principally because of his knowledge of the modern cars. I think most of the questions he's had so far have been on the 5-speed Marina gearbox, which is a natter to my ears, but obviously not to others. Anyhow, he's busy downstairs, and I hope you'll take the advantage of going to see him during the day, if you haven't done so far already. His number appears in the magazine, and members can call him at vast numbers of hours every day to ask his advice on technical issues. So that's the first steps we've taken this year towards what the AGM asked us to do 2 or 3 years ago. I do usually single out 1 or 2 members of the committee for special mention during the course of the year, and this year it has to be, I think, Andy Boone. Boone. For 2 reasons. One, because I like the superb efforts he makes with the magazine, for example, the covers, and the back, which again features Kevin Jones, all stages, dress or undress. And 2, because he's also done another strange and wonderful thing, he's produced a young daughter called Alice. So our congratulations to David and Jane. I mean, Andy and Jane, sorry. Freudian slip there.
It must have been a good night.
Those of you who were with us,
Oh yeah.
if I'm going to do Treasurer's and Secretary's report together, I think we'll have to go a bit higher than 13 and a half minutes. Which is the time in which I managed to condense my remarks last evening at the very pleasant function that we had in the Racket Centre next door. I'd like to begin the Secretary's report by saying that this year has been another successful year in the history of the MMOC, and although it has not been the easiest of years in terms of committee work and other things, there are a number of points I would like to bring to your attention during the course of my remarks. But first of all, following what John's had to say, I'd like to sort of endorse the work that's been done by all of the committee, and to express my thanks to them for their cooperation in working with me in my role as Secretary of the Club. I do this each year, and I do say that with sincerity that I do appreciate the support that people of the committee give me. It obviously means that we can actually work together constructively to provide hopefully a better service for you, the members. So thanks to all the committee for their work during the year. Jane White, our membership secretary, is not with us today, but I'd like just to pay tribute to Jane and her mother, who are our membership team and who work in the office in Derby. Martin will be saying something about people's remunerations and so on later, so you may get a flavour of the amount of work which is actually being done by Jane and her mother. This has been going on for some time now, but virtually we've got full-time people there working all the time. They work extremely efficiently, work extremely hard, and I'm sure that we would want to record for the minutes our appreciation of all the effort that they put in running the membership department, as it were. I did say that it's been a difficult year in committee. We're looking really to see the way forward for the club. The club is still growing, albeit at a slightly slower rate this year. We did have a slight panic a few months ago when Jane alerted us to the fact that the number of people expressing interest in joining the club for the first time was actually on the decline. It was quite alarming when she actually began to put together the figures and was translating that into income and revenue for the club. We very quickly realised that unless we took some fairly immediate action, that we could be operating at something in the region of about £10,000 to £15,000 short of income on the sort of annual revenue that we collect from new subscriptions. We looked very quickly at our current advertising and decided that we would needed to revamp that. We've put that course of action into place, and we've also gone ahead with the new scheme, which I hope meets with your approval, which is the card which appeared in the magazine last issue. We have made copies of these available to branches as well, and I'm pleased to be able to report that although it's only a matter of a few weeks since these were circulated, they are coming in at a healthy rate. The advertising is working, and we're now back on track with our normal sort of expected level of membership, which means that the club will continue at least to remain stable at its current membership of around about 14,500. But earlier on in the year, we were perturbed that it was possibly on a downturn. We have been saying for a number of years, and forgive me for saying it again for those of you who are regular attendants at the AGM, we do keep saying that at some point we're going to turn the corner and the membership is actually going to start to go down. We did actually think, and we did panic when we realised that perhaps this was happening. But it seems not to be the case. Things have stabilised again, and so I think growth will remain steady for this year. I think that's reassuring to all of us, because with a steady and increasing membership, it means that we can increase the range of services that we're able to provide to members, and we can also keep the treasurer happy so that he's got plenty of money at the bank. He'll actually be telling you more about that later. Is that what it is? make a start then. First of all, welcome to the prize giving for this very special event. Can I begin by saying a big thank you to all of you for your contribution to the event in making it the success that it is. The cars look superb both inside and outside. I mean, I know the weather's not been kind to us outside, but thank you to all those people who have made the effort to make the outdoor display as equally impressive as the indoor display. We have a lengthy prize giving to get through, and I'm not going to present all the awards that you can see here at this prize giving, and I will be seeing some individual people after the event. We're going to begin with one or two special awards to some guests that have helped to add another dimension to the show by bringing other makes of car into the indoor show. And so I'd like the representatives, please, from the following sort of car clubs to be on hand to come forward and receive a memento of this particular event. So if I could start, please, with the Woolsey 680 and MO Club, and ask Dave Robinson if he would like to come forward to receive a trophy. If you can take those two representatives. And I can actually give our chairman, John Fry, his award for his MO traveller. Thank you. You realise we're on video, John? Right. Moving on then to another car club, we have the Octagon Car Club, who have very kindly brought 3 MGs to be present at our display. So if a representative from the Octagon Car Club would like to come forward, please. Okay. John's not here. Thank you very much. Fine. And if you could take these, please. It's extremely kind. Thank you very much. Excellent. Okay, thank you. And finally, on the car clubs, if we could have a representative, please, from the A30, A35 club, which is Brenda, if she's here. Brenda Townsend, thank you very much. And especially pleasing that we do have support from other car clubs at our events, and we hope we can extend that part of the proceedings in future years. There are another couple of special awards, one in particular for someone who's worked very hard today out in the rain and who's actually put on a special display inside, which is the caravan with the that character looking into the engine bay of his car, and that's Peter Sleaford. So Peter, if you'd like to come forward, please, and receive. Okay then. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I just want to say that although I was out there was all the other members of my family as well. Here she comes, trendy dress. So, you take that away and show that to Mummy.
Thank you very much, sir. And the last of the special awards is for the best branch, and we have had some branch representation here, and in particular 2 branches have featured strongly. That's the Manchester branch and the Birmingham branch. We asked our branch liaison officer to make the hard decision of deciding which branch this award should go to. So the best branch award goes to the Birmingham branch.
Well done, Matt. Thank you very much. Made us annual.
And if we could have a representative from the Manchester branch, please. We'd like you to accept a memento for each of your display people, which is a special commemorative badge for MINOREX. Thank you. Okay, with the indoor events then, I'm going to start with the best of condition class, and I'm going to ask Keith Fletcher if he will actually read the results, and ask John Fry
if he would be so kind as to actually present the award for Best of Condition class. Are we going to start in reverse order, Keith? Right, these are the Best of Condition class. These weren't done by the normal judging team. In fact, they were judged by Peter Large and Fred Skinner, John Batho, TVX 732J. Here we are. Well done. That's 6 then, isn't it? 6. Okay, 6th place is Mr. Giles. He's LMJ 206G, it looks like. 1969 Traveller. Well done. 5th place is a Mr. R. Talbot, BFK 569G, also with a 69 Traveller. Mr. R. Talbot? No, we'll carry on then. Is this 4th place then now? Yeah, 4th place this one is Mark Ameson's 2-door 1000 Saloon, TRE 565C. Is Mark or his wife about? Yeah, I can see Mike is coming. Well done, Mike. Mike's very well known in the concourse scene, but in the last year we haven't seen very much of him. I think he's been busy with his babies. 3rd prize this one then, Ray. Yes, this is to Leslie Price, and that's RFN 612G, that looks like. Is Leslie about? Come on, Leslie. She's been working on the stand, I take it. Well done, Leslie. She always seems to go on with something. Well done.
Even if it's just model.
That's right, yeah. 2nd place this one is it a Michael Bond? Is that Euro 17? Well done, Michael. It's a series to travel that long ago, tells you. And the winner, I'm going to look at this car, I can't understand why it isn't in merit concourse, but I look at quite a few cars out there and understand why they're not in it, quite honestly, because a lot of people are having a roll of luck. And the winner is Stephen Dillon. Well done, Stephen, nice car. It's nice to see a young lad presenting a car like that, not a good fit. Are you going to see you in the concourse next year then? Stephen, I'd like to.
And this award as well.
Yeah, okay, and that's another award for you. Okay, well done. I'd just like to say a special word of thanks. Those trophies that have just been awarded were actually sponsored by Practical Classics and Car Restoring Magazine, who made a contribution towards the cost incurred. We're going to press on now with the concourse results, and I'm going to ask Keith to do his usual thing, and I'll try and sort out the trophies, and hopefully John will present them.
Only a pleasure.
Just a short word to say thank you very much to all the concourse entrants throughout the year through supporting us. In fact, the concourse entrants are very small, as you know. 21 cars total nationally, 17 here today, which is a great support. I did have quite a few people actually who haven't shown the cars this year and phoned me who had condition class cars and wanted to enter them in concourse. I can only apologise that we can't do that because you've got to be shown the car at one of the regional rallies. Anyway, not to waste any more time, on we go, and we're talking about merit concourse, and in 2nd place with merit concourse is a Beryl Jones with 659 marks, and the car goes into Beryl concourse. So Beryl, all one is about. Don't go away, Beryl, we've got some news for you. There we are, a very nice certificate there. Okay, and that car's in the top 20 cars of the country. Very well done. These all third merit concourse is a Michael Pemberton LAM202. 665 marks. The car also goes into cold concourse. Well done, Michael.
Congratulations.
And he goes around with a few prizes for him. You can't enjoy this, Michael. Well done. It's nice to see some nice prizes actually for the concourse people because they put in such a lot of effort. Believe me, they really do. Right, we're going to go on to gold concourse now. We're just sorting this out, we won't be a second. There's a certificate there as well. Right, in gold concourse, number 8th place is a Malcolm Bainbridge, and with a higher mark this time of 714 marks. Well done, Malcolm.
Ooh.
Malcolm, you'll have to forgive us because we put merit concourse on there, but we forgot that Malcolm actually achieved gold concourse at the Eastern Rally, and we'd already had the plaques done, so we'll have another one done for you. Very nice indeed, well done, Malcolm. In 7th place, very nice car, goes to a lady. It's nice to see a lady, and we've only seen her once before, and it's Karen Neeson with 718 marks. Karen, well done.
Well done, Karen.
In 6th place, much improved car we thought actually, and goes to a very nice gentleman, Fred Miles. 750 marks for Fred. Well done, Fred.
Congratulations.
Well done to you. Well done. We all thought potentially that's a very, very nice car indeed. Excellent effort. In 5th place, probably one of the most original cars in fact in the hall, including having original tyres. Nice to see somebody, the older generation doing very well, I'm sure you won't mind me saying that, and that's Fred Chapman with 757 marks. Well done, Fred. Fred even negotiated a cheaper rate at the hotel than me. I don't know how he done that. Was it pension was late? Must have been. Right, on we go. 4th place in gold concourse. A gentleman that is known to the concourse scene, but I said has not been around much this year, has been busy. He's a Mike Anderson. It's nice to see you back, Mike. 778 marks and in 4th place. Well done, Mark. In 3rd place, this is a vehicle that's well known to the concourse scene, not only in the MMOC, but others as well. It's a Ted Galileo with a split screen side valve MM Tourer, and 787 marks, Ted. He always manages to go back to Raymond Park or something. Well done, Ted. The next two cars always seem to be having a sort of a bit of a tie break, and it's been a little bit of a battle really between them throughout the sort of the year really. And they got very, very close marks. And in 2nd place out of these two cars is Chris Sawbridge. He's got 798 marks. Just a little bit more effort, Chris, and we're going to be masters, I think, now. Well done. Well done. Chris will be coming back in a minute for another prize as well, incidentally. The winner of Gold Concourse is a vehicle that we feel is much improved, and the nice thing about it can still be improved some more quite easily. And this goes straight into Masters class, and first prize in Gold Concourse goes to Peter Bull with 811 marks. Well done.
Congratulations. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.
Perhaps that will encourage you to get your heel pads sewn in there, Peter.
Thank you very much indeed.
Well done, Peter. Very nice car indeed. Okay, we're starting to get serious now, and we're starting to get into the Masters cars. You can see these cars down here, and you must realise how difficult it is. And, you know, not everybody can win. There can only really be one winner. But in Masters, really, they're all winners, because they are the elite cars of the Morris Minor Club. In 6th place, with a large recognition of bringing a car basically back from the graveyard really, is Peter Large. Peter got 850 marks, and that's the best marks this year. And in 5th place, another contestant who's very well known to us is Barry Tibbets with 860 marks. Well done, Barry. There's so little to pick between these cars, as I say, in Masters, and it's a shame that they all can't win, but there you are. In 4th place, with 862 marks, goes to Fred Skinner with the Traveller. There there's Traveller. Come on, Fred. He's got ready to take his senior pictures now. What a shame. Well done. Certificate as well for you, Fred. These certificates they're getting, by the way, is a diploma which does explain to them that the car that they've got is actually in the top 20 within the UK. 3rd place, and we'll have another prize to come later, but I won't tell you what it is at the moment. A very impressive car, very nice people, new to the MMOC, getting large recognition, and that's Derek Holding with 870 marks. Well done, Derek.
Thanks very much. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thanks very much.
The next two vehicles, this is 1st and 2nd place. These are very much potential Grandmasters cars. Very, very impressive cars. They were very, very close. Again, they're so close, but there can only be one winner. 2nd place goes to Thomas Allen with 890 marks with a potential Grandmasters vehicle. Well done, Thomas.
Congratulations.
What can I say about this car? I don't think I've ever seen, I've been in Grandmasters myself, I've spent 30-40 hours cleaning a car in a week, and I honestly don't think my car was ever as clean as this car. This car is so meticulously clean. Believe me, I spent quite a long time underneath there, and it's absolutely faultless regards being clean. 1st place goes to Richard Lee with 912 marks. Very much potential Grandmasters car. Well done, Richard.
We're going to have to stop meeting like this, you know.
People start to talk.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? Great. There you go.
2 prizes there, Richard. Well done.
Very old.
So we're going to see you Grandmasters next year. Think about it, never talk to me about it. We're very, very close, aren't we? The thing is with Grandmasters, as you probably know, very quickly, Richard's got 912 marks. You have to average 920 marks over 4 or 5 meetings, and that's very, very difficult to do. The thing is, you don't know whether you've done it, and you can waste all year and then find you haven't done it. But you're doing pretty close. Okay? We'd like to see you have a crack at it.
Thank you.
That brings us now to... No, Barry's going to have to wait. You have to sweat it out, Barry. We've got too much else to do yet, so just another few minutes and you'll know your fate. What I'd like to do is to return to the outdoor
event. We've decided in view of the entry that we're actually going to award 7 awards, and we've got a memento of the event, and of course we've got the special MINOREX sweatshirts and so on, and so the winners of each class is going to get a t-shirt or sweatshirt and a trophy. Okay, so starting with the MM and Series 2 category, we've got a winner in Dave Lilly with a Series 2 Traveller, CSU 458. The 1000 Saloon class has been won by Mr. S. Bailey with a 4-door saloon which is LNY 199D. The 1000 Traveller class has been won by Mr. J. Ledworth. I think he's gone home with a nice Traveller, a G-Reg Traveller, so we'll actually make sure that he gets his award later. The 1000 Commercial has actually been won by Jim Murphy with his G-registered van, which has actually been finished in the British Leyland logo. If you've seen this van outside, it's a super van, very well restored. We actually had it at the Midland Rally. So Mr. Murphy from Liverpool, if you'd like to come forward and receive your award. Well done to you. The next category is custom and modified, and we've actually joined that together, and the winner here is Mr. Gornall from Lancashire with his G-Reg Traveller. Mr. Gornall.
Well done, Joe. One of those. You get 2 of you in there, Joe.
We didn't have any original convertibles outside, they were all post-production, and the winner of the post-production convertible, and I think Robin's actually gone home, is Robin Beardmore. Is Robin here? He's gone, I thought he had. Would somebody like to take the award for him? Rosemary, would you like to do that for us? To accept the award on behalf of Robin, which is the best post-production convertible. Any excuse, Brian. And number 7, the final class that we had was the open class, and the award here has gone to a Morris Oxford, registration 932 EOW, belonging to Mr. Marshall. Okay? Mr. Marshall with us? Morris Oxford. Everybody? Well done to you, Mr. Marshall. And that concludes the awards for the outdoor rally. Now we come to some special awards, and if I could just kick off, and then Keith's going to join in with the with 2. I'm going to do 1. Brian and Alison Fletcher gave us a trophy for the best woodwork, and this trophy has been awarded annually for a number of years now, and this year it's been judged by a previous winner who's looked at all the travellers that are here today, and this traveller is the one which gets the award for the best traveller wood. So I'm afraid it's that man again with a video camera, right, Mr. Fred Skinner. And now to tell you about some other special annual awards, it's Keith.
We have 2, in fact, other annual awards that we give annually, and this one really goes to the best newcomer to concourse. This particular vehicle, the Gideon team thought was exceptionally good for the first year in the MMOC, going straight into Masters class, and they made a real effort with this vehicle, and it's a pleasure really to be able to give this shield, which we'll keep for a year, to Derek Holding. Well done, Derek. That's what we get for having the best wheels in the show, Derek. Right. The next one is the Car of the Year. I won it the first year, and Peter Large won it last year. It doesn't necessarily go to the best car. We look at various different things. Obviously it's got to be a good car. It's got to be an improved car over the years. It would probably be somebody who's come out of concours and come out of condition class and gone into concours. And we look at how many events they've actually done. This particular vehicle did 5 out of the 6 events. He's been seen at the NEC, he's done the John O'Groats, he's done GMEX, and he's done a lot to promote the Morris Minor Club. And it is a real pleasure to see Chris Silvage get the cup halfway to Car of the Season. Well done, Chris. Well done. You can take it from me that these last 2 awards given were very, very difficult to decide. The potential in the concourse scene at the moment is very, very difficult, and you can take it from me that a lot of thought and a lot of judgment went into those 2 before they were issued. Well, it isn't more now, when we come to Barry Norman. I did explain to you about Grandmasters that Barry doesn't know whether he's achieved it or not, and the way the judging scheme works at the moment, it's very difficult because the forms are all filled in and he either gets it or he doesn't. And he has to achieve 920 marks on an average over 4 rallies. In fact, Barry elected to do 5 rallies, and I'm pleased to say that he achieved Grandmasters, which I believe is for the 4th time running in the only vehicle to ever do it, twice I believe, and he got 931.8 marks. Well done, Barry. Did you set on with that as well? Yeah. Okay. Barry, if you'd like just to wait with us for a minute. In time-honoured style, we do have certain sort of tokens to give to you, and we'd like to accept the gifts in here on behalf of the committee of the MOC.
Thank you.
But your main prize is in a plain brown envelope. And what I'd like to ask you to do, keep all relieving of those things for a moment, is to step forward, and I would ask you if you would like to read what's inside this envelope, and then you can tell the assembled people what it is that you have won to mark your tremendous achievement.
Shakes like anything.
So Barry's car is going to be photographed by a professional photographer. The club is going to pay for the session and the photographer's time. We are also going to produce a photographic record of your vehicle, and we will actually have that presented to you in a specially prepared photograph album. And we hope that that will be a lasting testimony to the quality of the car, to your hard work, and to your achievement, which I doubt will ever be surpassed in the Morris Minor Club. But you have set a standard, Barry, for everybody to try to achieve and surpass. Whether anybody will ever be able to do it, I don't know. I certainly know that I couldn't aspire to what you've achieved. I think really a credit to the club in everything that you've done. I know that you think that perhaps the time has come to part with the car. If that happens, we hope that the car will still be seen at Morris Minor events, and we hope still to see you. But thank you very much for everything that you've done over the years in making our events special with your presence and with your car. Thank you.
Just a quick word. I'd like to first of all thank everybody on the judging side and you, the public, for giving me the support for going on when I was feeling a bit down to carry on with it. I'd like to thank you for that. As Ray said, the car is going up for sale. My time now, other commitments, work and everything else is causing me to move on. Unfortunately, the person who gets it or buys it, I hope they will actually keep it in that kind of standard, because the last thing I want to see is the car go downhill. So I hope it'll still be on the scenes. I certainly will be when I can get out from work. I hope to see you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barry. Well done again. Congratulations. I'd now like to ask John Fry just to say a few words as we move towards the conclusion of the event. Thank you.
Here's just a few. I'd just like you to say a general thank you to everybody who's put so much work into this event. I think you agree that this is the nadir so far of what the Morris Minor Owner Club has achieved in terms of its concourse events. And it's due to the hard work of many people, in particular, of course, to Ray Newell and to Martin O'Dowd. So to those two, and also to our Chief Judge, young Fletcher, I'd like you to say thank you very much in the usual fashion. Thank you. And my personal thanks to all the competitors, all these fantastic cars who came here. There's a superb assortment of vehicles here, and I'd like to see an even bigger assortment next year. And in due recognition of that, I shall hand you over to old, just one or two words himself, Ray Newell.
Okay, if I could just reiterate to all of you our thanks. Can I say to the people who are standing on the trade stands there, a very special thank you to all the traders who have come to the event and who have supported us. We do appreciate your support. Thank you for coming. We hope to see you again. To everybody who has participated in any way at all, a big thank you. And we are going to conclude the show in about 10 minutes' time. And we're hoping to do that in the usual way with the permission of the organisers here at the Telford Exhibition Centre. For the uninitiated, the normal way is that we'd like to sound the horns. And what I will do is I will make an announcement over the PA system, okay, so that we can actually arrange that, and I will give you instructions about that in 10 minutes' time. After which the show will be officially closed, the doors will be opened, and we will start the process of breaking down. So, thanks again to everybody, safe journey home, and look forward to seeing you again somewhere in a similar style event next year. Thank you. 3, 2,